Welcome to Simmons Says, where I help emerging and struggling writers create intriguing plots and compelling characters to make their stories hard to put down and even harder to forget. Hey there. Welcome to another episode of Simmons Says. This is where we talk about creativity, crafts, and the courage to keep writing. And today's topic is voice, tone, and style. Now, these three words might sound a little bit like a synonym, but they're actually the holy trinity of how you tell your stories. The sound and the feel is where the story lives on the page, how it lives on the page. Let's look at it this way. Voice. Voice is you. It's your rhythm, your quirks, truth in your words. It's the way you describe a change in the day, the look of the day, the sunset, the kind of humor that you sneak into a story, into the dialogue, into the phrasings, so that it feels authentic. It feels like home when you write it. You're comfortable with it. Now, two writers can take the same plot and develop the same story based on that plot. And yet it's going to come out differently because of who they are and the personal aspects of themselves that they're filtering the story through. When I was a kid, I read a number of things, Treasure Island, some mystery stories that were organic kids, especially boys, living in some Bay Area kind of town and solving mysteries and things like that. And it was fun. It was fun and exciting, and I kind of imagined myself in that world. When I got older, I got to read Walter Mosley's, and I got to read Easy Rollins, Walter's character, and that had a different feel. I mean, it was the same tension and similar dangers and things like that. And yes, it was an adult character as opposed to a teenage boy. But Mosley's voice sounded more like people I knew, like people I encountered on a day-to-day basis. It was alive and grounded with a particular type of authenticity that resonated with me more than some of the earlier material that I had read, although both were entertaining. And that's what we're after, the authenticity over a generalized environment. It's not to say that the earlier things I read weren't fun or involving and that people don't live those lives. But your voice is going to allow you to create stories that resonate with the audience you're trying to appeal to. So, how do you find your voice? You write something only you would say, not perfectly, but honestly. Start with how you tell a friend what happened to you the night before or the week before, an argument that you had with your folks or whatever, your loved ones. How do you tell that story? And then how would you write it? And then build from there. That's your voice. Okay. Let's talk about tone, the mood that you set with your stories. Now, tone, that's your emotional temperature. Are we serious, playful, hopeful, ominous? The tone shapes how your readers feel as they're moving through that particular section of the story. In the film, It's a Wonderful Life, the tone shifted from jolly, comfortable, homey, small town world to despair and isolation, and then warmth and realization that there's something grander than us, and yet we're magnificently a part of it. And together, coming together, is even more powerful when people come together. That's a great story. It's a great universal story. In A Christmas Carol, tone is the ghost-like figures leading Scrooge from childhood experiences and isolation and loss to the warmth and joy and revelation of what the gift of giving and receiving back and forth can bring into a person's life. How it can really make them feel or free them to feel so much more alive. So ask yourself, what's the emotional journey I want to take my readers through? What do I want them to feel and experience? And then adjust your word choices and your pacing and your imagery to fit that and to move your audience along that pathway. Now, let's go to style. That's your fingerprint. The way you stitch voice and tone together through sentences and rhythm and structure and the choice of the specific details that you put into your story. A lot of details or a little bit of details. That's you. Think about Zora Neale Hurston. Her prose have a melodic feel to them, a poetic feel to them. They move and dance. You can sort of get a sense of that rhythm, and it's her voice and her style and her tone. Hemingway, which has that strong, rugged, stripped down to the muscle feeling, the man who moves through the mountaintops and that thing. Neither is better than the other. They just have a different approach to bringing us into the story. Each is very specific, very distinct into who they are and how they tell a story. You shouldn't and you can't fake style, but you can cultivate it by reading a lot of different material, writing often, editing with curiosity and authenticity, a true desire to make it your best work, but not obsess on perfection, just creating an experience that when somebody reads it, you get a reaction. I mean, specifically try reading your own work to see how that feels to you, how that sounds to you. That's one way of doing it. But letting others read it too, being open to their reactions is a way of helping yourself with that. Yes, I know it sounds a lot, but bear with me. Now, how do you bring all that together? Voice, tone, style. Remember, voice is who you are. Tone is how you feel. And style is how you move. Or another way of looking at it is how you move us through your story. And when those three align, your writing stops sounding like writing and starts sounding like life, like you're sharing a moment with us and you're taking us on this journey. So, for this week's challenge, take a scene you've already written, rewrite it in 3 different tones: joyful, suspenseful, reflective. Then ask yourself which one rings true to you. Which one touches you, feels more you. That's where your voice is truly hiding or waiting for you. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone else. And if you haven't yet subscribed to Simmons Says newsletter, that's where I share exercises and story tips and a few creative confessions along the way. Do that. Until next time, keep writing, keep believing, and remember your story already has a sound. It's just waiting for you to turn up the volume. That's it from Simmons Says.